Hey everybody, day 2 here at PBEXPO. Joining me, I have Eric from Ionic Air Care.
Yes, sir.
That's the name of the company, right?
That's correct.
All right, cool. How's everything going?
Going well. You know, we started the company in October of 2020
Okay.
with the sole purpose of developing a clean sheet design, dual polar ionizer for aircraft installation.
Okay.
And we've got the product developed. We've been through quite a bit of testing, the DO-160 labs that has to be done before we can go do our first STC install. And we go back to the lab on the 14th this month, and we expect to finish by the end of the month.
Okay, very cool.
And have our first aircraft install happen in April.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about this product and maybe why you've gone down the route of developing something like this.
Sure. So when the coronavirus broke out around the world and
Yeah.
the lockdowns, everything happened. And, the airlines obviously suffered pretty greatly. I was actually working for Airbus at that time, even though I spent most of my last 30 years in business aviation. We saw the impact, right? And what do we do to help restore passenger confidence in traveling in airplanes again? And I discovered dual polar ionization, and one company out there had a product they were offering. And some business aviation aircraft owners had selected that product. However, when we took it out to the airlines, it just wasn't a good fit price-wise for the
Okay.
airlines. And so I decided to leave Airbus and start Ionic Air Care
Okay.
and do a clean sheet design, actually using all mil-spec components, mil-spec and aerospace components.
Okay.
So we're building it for civil aviation, but we're also building it for the military. So once we finish our civil aviation certifications, we're going to move right into our military certification because the unit is basically a mil-spec unit already.
Okay.
The testing is just a little bit different. Many of those tests we've already run through the preliminary evaluations on those, and we're looking good. So we really have developed this thing for civil aviation,
Okay.
then for the military, then we're bringing out a product for rail. So that'll be subways, airport people movers, buses, trains.
Okay.
And then we're bringing out a product for marine,
Okay.
mainly for the yachting industry.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And so for the business aircraft world, is there a particular segment, size of aircraft that you're looking to install this type of system on?
Yeah, so our first install is going to be on a Gulfstream 550.
Okay.
And so that is more of who's buying this technology right now
Right.
are the larger cabin business jets.
Okay.
However, there are some mid-size and even light business jets that have installed a system. Hawker 800s come to mind, for example, which only need one system. And you get into, when you get up to about a G280 and above size aircraft, over 1,000 cubic feet of cabin space, then you go to two systems. That's the predominant buying segment right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And looking at like this type of system and this type of technology in comparison to systems that have been installed on aircraft in the past, what are some of the benefits that customers or passengers are going to receive from having something like this?
Yeah. No, that's a great question, Greg, because there's really only been HEPA filtration in aircraft, right? It used with various degrees of application, right? So some airlines have used HEPA filters, some have not.
Right.
And so HEPA filters can only pick up what is circulating in the airplane. And of course, after COVID hit, the airlines went to basically using more bleed air and less recirculated air, and changing the HEPA filters more frequently. So that certainly helps, right? But then what can you do to protect the passengers and the crew in flight? And there really is only two technologies. It's either far UVC,
Okay.
which then bathes the cabin in this purple lilac type of color that I don't think anybody would want to sit in for 2 hours, let alone 12 or 13 hours like some of the flights I've taken to Asia, and ionization. So there's really only two that could be used in flight. And even far UVC has its limitations where if something is in a shadow, it's not going to be effective at all. And there is still a skin cancer risk when you get over 12 hours. So it really still is not going to be useful for long duration flights. And nor do I think people would want to sit in that UV
Right,
lighting
sure.
for the whole flight. So ionization is the only other technology currently available to basically provide protection of the cabin breathing air in flight. It's non-invasive, it's highly effective, it's safe for humans and for pets and animals.
Okay.
So that's why we went down this road. And in developing a clean sheet design, we were able to make a more powerful ionizer than our competition, which means when we get on the airlines, you get a very large cabin aircraft. You're going to need less of our units than the competition's units, driving down cost. And we've also priced it, once we saw that the airlines were not willing to accept price points that were being offered to them, when you look at what it costs to equip an aircraft,
Right.
we decided to set our pricing to make ionization affordable for all turbine-powered aircraft, be it a Part 91 operator, a Part 135 operator, or a Part 121 operator. So we've taken into account, how many systems are going to be needed per aircraft, how many aircraft that operator has to equip, and kind of price it accordingly so we could really make it affordable for all segments.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit maybe about the ongoing maintenance of a system like this. Is it pretty easy to maintain and keep up to date?
It really is. So if we could step back to home and business commercial ionization units, the only thing that they recommend there is basically to knock the dust off of the carbon fiber emitter threads once a year or so. Some even have like an automated, you can push a button and the rotating device knocks the dust off. In aircraft, we don't believe we're going to have a dust situation because of the bleed air coming in from the aircraft.
Right.
Really doesn't have a dust component to it, or very little, unlike a home or a building.
Sure.
So what we're going to call for in our install is a 3-year inspection of the ion emitters, and we're looking more for contamination from fluids. Aircraft bleed air can occasionally have a little bit of oils from the engine oil seals, or a little bit of jet fuel. It could sometimes, and we're talking about in parts per million. But over time that could build up and affect. So we are going to call for a 3-year inspection of our probes. If we detect there's degradation, then we'll replace them at that point and on for another 3 years. But the unit itself is built with 100,000 hours of mean time between failure.
Oh, wow.
Components all selected to basically not need any maintenance or repair for 100,000 hours, which outlives the life of any aircraft that we build.
Sure. And how about like the installation of this? Are you partnering with somebody to handle the installs for aircraft, or how's that working?
Yeah, so we actually, and again, it depends on the operator. So for Part 91 business jet type operators, we're working through our dealer network. Duncan Aviation comes to mind, Westar, Standard Aero.
Okay.
Even smaller shops like Banyan, independent shops like that. That become our dealers. They're in the process of becoming our dealers, and we will then sell them the equipment, and they will do the installation and or STCs. We're looking to incentivize this dealer network to do STCs with our product. We're doing this first STC, but we don't plan to be in that business long term. We're doing it to get our first aircraft certified. Excuse me, and to get our PMA, right?
Okay.
We really need the
sure.
PMA, so we have to complete the first STC.
Sure.
So that's kind of the Part 91 market approach, is through our established dealer network that are mostly AEA members, and these are friends and colleagues of mine for the last 30 years because that's the world I just came
sure.
from. Okay.
Sure.
Speaking of the installation as well, we offer our carbon fiber reinforced duct adapter system, which is something that other competitors in the space don't offer. And this is a carbon fiber reinforced 3D printed mounting system that allows the unit to be mounted within a ½ inch of the duct, no matter how big the duct is or small the duct is.
Sure.
We can 3D print these duct adapters in any size and shape to match the duct in the aircraft, and then the unit always mounts that ½ inch above the duct. So it's a very repeatable process. Our duct adapter kits include all the hardware and the 2 gaskets that reseal the duct, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The duct needs 2 3-inch holes drilled in it, and then to put the gaskets down and the duct adapter system goes on, the unit bolts to the duct adapter system, and then the power and ground is brought to the unit. And that's really all there is to it.
Very cool. All right. Well, it's exciting.
It is.
Sounds like you got a lot on your plate for 2022.
We do.
Anything else happening or going on this year that you want to hit on?
Yeah, well, we are looking to also do an STC, and again, not us doing it. We're talking to CNL Aviation.
Okay.
About doing an STC on the EMB 135 and 145s. They have a lot of customers that have fleets of these aircraft that are retrofitted into less seats and more seat pitch, right? And so they're more of a higher end 135 type operation, the service they provide. And some of their customers are interested in equipping their aircraft with ionization. And so we're looking to do an STC there, and that'll open the Part 135 market for us. Past that, we're looking to partner with a distributor, most likely. Talking to several right now. ALA comes to mind, SatAir, my former employer.
Yeah.
We may do something with them to do, and again, we want to encourage and help support through discounted equipment, deeply discounted equipment, them to go out and do an STC on an A320, A321, a Boeing 737 to get our Part 121 operations up and running as well. And like I mentioned earlier, we've tiered the pricing of our system based on the type of operator and the number of units they would need to equip their entire fleet.
Right.
And that way we can make it affordable across all markets. But now we've got some really exciting things going on. Once we finish our certification with the core I-7000 civil aviation system, we're then developing a smart card that's going to plug into all the units that we deliver. Already have the header connector inside to plug in a smart card. The smart card is going to measure the high voltage on the negative and positive side.
Okay.
And the system status, and then offload that through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to a passenger's phone or tablet, so they can see that the ionization units are working, the level of ionization they're currently providing per unit. So that's what we're going to do. That Wi-Fi Bluetooth version is primarily for business aviation. For commercial aviation, and probably for Part 135, where that might be a mix, we're going to do an Airing 429 data bus output, one-way output, so that the airplane can then collect that data and then put it on seat back monitors, provide it to their passengers over their Wi-Fi networks, to their personal electronic devices. They can then do with what they wish with the data to show the passengers that the ionization system is on and it's working well, it's performing well.
Very cool.
Yeah, very exciting. We're really excited to that. That's patented, already filed. Both our core system, our unique ozone-free ion emitter tips that we have developed, and the smart card technology is all in our utility patent. We have several patents pending, utility and design patents. And we're excited to really develop this product and to really help restore customer confidence in flying on airplanes and getting in an airport people mover and getting in a subway car again. Having gatherings on their yacht, having dinner parties, because now the environment has been the safety has been greatly enhanced through ionization. So no, we're excited to roll this out across multiple industries. We're starting with with where I've spent most of my career in business aviation, and the industry I love the most. But we want to spread it out to all forms of transportation. Our goal is really to ionize the transportation system from end to end.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's where we're going.
Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I hope the show has been good. It was great meeting you, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Greg.